What's up, everybody? It's your boy Deshaun here with another Average Joe Sports Football Preview. Today we're going to be discussing both WSU and UW's season preview. We're not gonna go into the schedule stuff. I will post the schedules of each team. I'm just not gonna break down the schedule. Just don't feel like it. Try to keep this one short and sweet and to the point here. WSU in this past year, their overall record in 2020, the 2022-2023 season, they were 7-6 overall, finishing 4-5 in the conference. Overall, not bad. Pretty decent for the second year head coach Jake Dickert. They had a little bit of turnover in the offseason, but their returning players are quarterback Cameron Ward, who is a very, very speedy dual threat quarterback. He had 23 completions out of 497 attempts for 3,231 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. I saw watching this guy play last year. He's definitely the perfect fit for this offense in this kind of air raid / mobile quarterback offense that Coach Dickert has going on over there in Pullman. He did fine during Apple Cup last season, but eventually, Apple Cup turned out to be what Apple Cup turned to be. But he's a feisty quarterback. He's actually very, very accurate, and his mobility is something that's going to be a very huge factor going into the final season of the Pac-12. Also in their backfield, they are led by Nakia Watson. Is it Nakia or is it Nakia? I don't know. Not sure. We'll go with it. 144 carries last season for 769 yards and 9 touchdowns. Obviously, he was taking the bulk of the carries. Also working with him is Jalen Jenkins, coming with 68 carries for 396 yards and a touchdown. Returning wide receivers are Lincoln Victor, 26 receptions, 245 yards. Wide receiver Leighton Smithson, 30 receptions, 235 yards, and 1 touchdown. They're also getting wide receiver transfers, wide receiver Joe Kelly from Fresno State and Kyle Williams from UNLV to finish out their receiving core. On the defensive side, they've got defensive end Brennan Jackson coming into his 6th year, so super duper senior. Defensive end Rod Stone Jr., Texas transfer linebacker Devin Richardson, and Maryland transfer Ahmad McCullough. So they're obviously going to be fixing their interior and also adding a little bit more on the edge as well. So again, this team is led by Jake Dickert going into his 2nd season. How do I think WSU is going to do this season? I think from a Pac-12 North perspective, they are definitely still a dark horse over Cal and, over Oregon State. Stanford is always going to be what Stanford's going to be. Are they in their high athletic period where they have a lot of great student athletes or versus athletic students? We don't know. But I think they definitely have the opportunity to be a dark horse in the Pac-12 North standings. Again, I know the Pac-12 doesn't do North and South anymore, which I really think they still should. But I think in the Pac-12 North as a whole, they have a chance to be a dark horse for that number 3 spot, provided that both UW and Oregon don't poop the bed. Anything's possible and anything looks great on paper. I think for 2nd year head coach Dickert, I think that maybe 9, maybe 10 wins overall is a possibility. And I think with this being the 2nd year of his offense is going to be it's going to be a fun watch for sure. Again, there's a lot of things going on right now with WSU and where they're going to go conference-wise next season. I'm not going to worry about that right now. This is just not the time to talk about it. I know that there's a lot of WSU fans who want to see them play in Las Vegas again. That would be great. But again, Who knows? I think it's going to be a decent year for WSU, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what it is they have going on. Again, quick review, quick overall looking at who's coming back and how that's going to work for WSU. Up next will be UW, and welcome back. Right up next, we've got the University of Washington Husky preview. Just like with WSU's preview, we're going to just keep it short, sweet, to the point, tell you who's returning, and you know, anything that I find pertaining to be the moderately important. So let's just get into it. Last season, the Huskies finished 11-2 overall, 7-2 in the conference, led by now second-year head coach Kalen Dober. Again, 11-2 overall. A lot of returning offensive stars and quite a few defensive stars coming back, starting with the one and only Michael Penix Jr. He's coming in his senior season with 362 completions on 554 attempts, 4,641 yards, and 31 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Crazy consistent. Not a lot of risks for the firing lefty, which I find left-handed quarterbacks very, very interesting, because to my mind's eye, when I see a lefty quarterback, my brain's like, what is he doing? Why is he throwing with his offhand? Like, no, his offhand is his right hand. So seeing the ball come off his hands, you know, counterclockwise versus clockwise is always cool to me. And again, crazy accurate, takes very, very few risks. And despite the fact that he is also a pretty mobile quarterback, he has actually turned out to be a very efficient pocket passer. I believe his completion percentage is like 81% or something like that, which is pretty high for a college football quarterback. So that's great. He is potentially a preseason Heisman Trophy candidate. We'll see how far that goes. Do I think he could potentially win the Heisman? No. I don't think he can. Mainly because of he's at the University of Washington and we're playing in the Pac-12 in its final season. Just saying. Plays at USC, he plays, or if UW was already in the Big Ten, I think it might be slightly different. The Heisman Trophy is a popularity contest. Is your team going to the national title? Yes. Okay. That puts you in the Heisman Trophy finalist. I think he'll still finish pretty high, but is he going to make the show as a Heisman Trophy finalist on ESPN? I don't think so. Even if he has a dynamite season, I don't think he gets invited to the Heisman Trophy ceremony. And that's how I classify becoming a Heisman Trophy finalist. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on Michael Penix Jr. and his Heisman. That could be a whole different video by itself. On top of that, he's got his main wide receivers coming back. Rome Odunze as a junior, 75 receptions, 1,145 yards, 7 touchdowns. And Jalen McMillan on the other side, 79 receptions, 1,098 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So that's going to be very, very key. In the backfield, he's got Cameron Davis, 107 carries for 522 yards and 13 touchdowns, doing the bulk of the work. Richard Newton, senior, for 45 carries, 213 yards, and a touchdown last season. Also getting 2 transfers from one transfer from Mississippi State in Dylan Johnson at running back, and Daniel Nagata, a transfer from Arizona State, to beef up that backfield and put a few extra bodies and save some downs for Cameron Davis. I think he's still going to be really, really great. Cameron Davis was very shifty. Also, didn't have any problems going up the middle and hitting somebody in the mouth to get those extra yards. So any extra help will be much appreciated. There were a lot of offensive linemen that also left, so that'll also be something of note going into this season. On the defensive side, Zion Tupuola-Fatui, or ZTF, as he's more commonly known, is coming back from his excellent season last season. Pac-12 All-American honorable mention, with 40 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble from last season, doing very, very well, coming off the edge. Braylon Price coming in as a junior, or coming back as a junior with 20 from his last season of 23 tackles, and 10 sacks coming in big off the edge. And also defensive back Asa Turner coming back for his senior season, where he had 33 tackles and 2 interceptions. It's going to be big because I actually think the defensive secondary was actually a huge weakness for the Dogs. I mean, as good as they were still getting torched out there in the secondary, the safeties and the DBs. They did okay. They held their ground, but also at the same time, I felt that from a passing attack perspective, they did get exposed, especially going deep a lot. And it was just something that gave me fits, because from an interior perspective, they were doing their job. It was just once the ball got out, I felt that was definitely a weakness. So hopefully the kids that they have coming in are going to be able to fill up some of those spots, get some safety help, get some more DB help as well. I look forward to seeing what this team is going to do. I think they're going to be a favorite to win the Pac-12 North. I also think they're going to be a favorite to potentially win the Pac-12. How sweet would it be if they beat a USC going into the Big Ten next year? We have those bragging rights forever. It would be amazing to me. So that is a basic preview. Games get started up this weekend, actually. UW is playing Boise State this weekend on the 2nd, and WSU is coming in, and they're playing Colorado State as well this weekend. So great way to open up Labor Day weekend, the last summer party day of the year. College football is officially underway. I know SC started last week, but college football is officially underway going into week 1. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in this last season of the Pac-12. Again, every game is going to be super important, because for a lot of these teams, it's going to be probably the last time we see these teams for a great while, if at all. So let's go Pac-12. Let's make the Pac-12 party. Let's have that go out with a bang. Go Dogs, especially, like go Cougs. Oregon, well, roast duck. Let's call that what it is. So that's the preview. We'll be going into more in-depth schedule stuff, game by game, with both WSU and UW going forward. I look forward to seeing what you guys think of this vlog going forward. Again, I plan on doing some fun things, and yeah, go Dogs. Peace out.